Welcome to Lesson L02, where we stop just writing TypeScript and start thinking in it. The senior reflex is simple. Shape your data first, then write the function. An interface user isn't just a type, it's a contract every consumer instantly understands. And honestly, 5 small tools, interface, type, optional, intersection, and union, cover 95% of what you'll ever need. So here's the map for the next few minutes. 4 mental models that cover the whole toolkit. First, when to reach for interface versus type, and there's a one-rule decision that makes it effortless. Then optional and re-add-only fields, where a single or re-add-only keyword bakes safety right into the contract. After that, unions for or between shapes, the foundation of type-safe enums and narrowing, and finally intersections, the senior way to compose shapes without inheritance. So let's start with that one-rule decision. If you're describing the shape of an object, props in braces, reach for interface. It extends cleanly, it can be reopened, and it's faster for the compiler to check. For everything else, unions, primitives, function signatures, anything computed with a utility like read-only. That's type territory. Pick by intent, not by preference, and the choice stops feeling arbitrary. Once you've got your shape, 2 tiny modifiers do most of the heavy lifting. A question mark says, "This might not be there," and TypeScript will force every consumer to handle the undefined case, which is why user.email to lowercase blows up until you guard it. Read-only says, "Set once, never again." Perfect for an ID or a created at. Together, they encode the kind of design rules a senior would otherwise leave in a code comment, except now the compiler enforces them. Now to the pipe operator, the OR of the type system. A union-like status locks you into 4 exact strings, so the moment you typo pending, the compiler catches it before your tests do. The real power move, though, is the discriminated union at the bottom. Tag your variants with a field like OK, and TypeScript narrows automatically inside the if. That's how you model successor error, redux actions, or any API response without a single type assertion. And the mirror image of OR is and, the ampersand. Instead of picking between shapes, you compose them. Define hasID and hasTimestamp as tiny focused interfaces, then intersect them into entity, and build user and product on top. No inheritance, no duplicated property lists, just small pieces snapped together. And because both user and product are still entities, one audit function accepts them both. Now, once you start using unions, you need a way to work with them safely. And this is where TypeScript quietly earns its keep. Inside an if, the type sharpens automatically. A type-off check on a string or number? Inside the branch, it's just a string. An in-check for fly? You're holding a bird. Compare a discriminator field like action.type, add login. You get the login variant with user available. No casting, no as. Your runtime checks are the type proof. So those are the mechanics. Now here are 6 reflexes that separate people who write types from people who design them. Design the type first and let the code follow. Prefer literal unions over string enums. Reach for discriminated unions instead of piles of optional fields. Default to read-only, use record instead of loose index signatures, and treat unknown as your honest replacement for any. 6 small habits. Each one kills a whole bug class. And here's your cheat sheet. 12 patterns that cover almost everything you'll do day to day. The left column is your shape vocabulary, interfaces, inheritance, read-only, and pick. The middle column is composition, unions, intersections, read-only, and omit. The right column is flexibility, literal unions, optional fields, partial, and record. Screenshot this one. When you're stuck shaping data, the answer is almost always somewhere on this page. Now flip the cheat sheet over. Here are 5 mistakes that turn good TypeScript into noise. Mixing data with methods couples your nouns to your actors. Reaching for enum when a literal union is smaller and safer. Boolean flags that let invalid states exist, like loading and error both being true. Marking everything optional, so every consumer drowns in if checks. And stringly typed APIs that accept any string when only 2 values are valid. Each one looks harmless. Each one quietly costs you. Time to put it into practice. 3 exercises, each one 15 minutes, and spend the first 5 just thinking about the shape before you type. Build the cart and cart item interfaces with a literal union for status. Then design result as a discriminated union and feel how if ROK narrows each branch. Finally, replace those messy Boolean flags with a proper form state union. Design first. The code falls out almost for free. And that's lesson 02 in the bag. 5 small tools: interface, type, the optional mark, ampersand, and pipe. And you can already model most of what real apps throw at you. Next up, generics and the utility types. That's where you stop writing boilerplate and start letting TypeScript write it for you. See you in lesson 03.